past few decades, South Africa has been at the center of an ongoing conversation about infrastructure development, transportation reform, and economic integration between its provinces. The idea of a high-speed train that connects major cities across South Africa has been discussed since the early 2000s, usually under the name bullet train or high-speed intercity rail. In 2026, this idea took a major step forward under the bold and inspiring title, Mzansi Velocity 2026 High-Speed Intercity Rail. The name itself is symbolic. Mzansi is a popular local term for South Africa, carrying a sense of national identity and pride, while velocity communicates speed, efficiency, and progress. Together, the name reflects a vision that goes beyond simply building a train line. It represents a commitment to transform mobility, boost trade, and unite the country in a new way. For South Africans, this is not merely a transport project, it is a social and economic revolution on steel rails. Historical background and the need for high-speed rail. For decades, intercity travel in South Africa has been dominated by road transport. Highways between Pretoria, Polokwane, and Mzansi are heavily used by trucks, buses, and private cars. The journey between Pretoria and Polokwane by car usually takes 5 to 6 hours, depending on traffic. Road congestion, high fuel costs, and accident rates have been a growing concern for both travelers and policymakers. Rail has always been an option, but the traditional passenger rail network has suffered from years of underinvestment, theft, vandalism, and operational challenges. This situation created a pressing need for a modern, efficient, and sustainable alternative. High-speed rail emerged as the perfect solution. International examples such as France's TGV, Japan's Shinkansen, and China's vast high-speed rail network proved that fast trains could dramatically reduce travel times, stimulate regional economies, and encourage safe, reliable, and eco-friendly transport. South Africa's own success with the Gautrain, a rapid rail system linking Johannesburg, Pretoria, and OR Tambo International Airport, demonstrated that South Africans were ready to embrace rail as a premium mode of transport when it was delivered with world-class quality. The vision of Mzansi Velocity 2026. The launch of Mzansi Velocity 2026 was announced as a partnership between the Gauteng and Limpopo provincial governments, the National Department of Transport, and a coalition of private investors and international engineering firms. The project is designed to be South Africa's first true high-speed intercity railway, with the first phase focusing on the Pretoria-Polokwane corridor, one of the busiest routes in the country. The ultimate vision is ambitious, a network of high-speed lines connecting major economic hubs across South Africa. Phase 1 will focus on Pretoria left-right arrow Polokwane, reducing the journey from 6 hours to just 90 minutes. Phase 2 is expected to extend the line to Louis Trichardt and Mzansi, near the Zimbabwe border, strengthening cross-border trade and tourism links. Later phases might include additional corridors, such as Johannesburg-Durban or Johannesburg-Mbombela, depending on feasibility and demand. The project aims to set new standards for travel. Speed. Trains capable of running at speeds above 200 km per hour, offering journey times competitive with flying. Frequency. Regular departures, making the train a convenient option for business and leisure travelers. Safety. World-class signaling and control systems to ensure reliability. Accessibility. Modern stations with good connections to local transport networks. Sustainability. Electric traction, potentially powered by renewable energy sources, to reduce carbon emissions. Planned route and stations. The initial route begins in Pretoria, a major administrative city and transport hub, and runs northward. Key intermediate stops include Hammanskraal, serving communities just north of Gauteng. Bella Bella, a popular holiday destination known for its hot springs. Mokopane, an important mining town. Polokwane, the capital of Limpopo, a fast-growing city with economic and administrative significance. These stops are carefully chosen to balance speed with accessibility. By serving multiple towns along the route, the train is expected to stimulate development corridors, attract businesses, and give smaller towns a boost by making them more connected to national markets. Economic and social benefits. One of the key promises of Mzansi Velocity 2026 is economic transformation. High-speed rail projects worldwide have been shown to act as engines of growth, creating jobs during construction, stimulating local businesses, and attracting investment around stations. The South African project is expected to create thousands of jobs, from civil engineers to construction workers, rolling stock manufacturers, and service staff. The project will create a massive employment boom, especially in the construction phase. Reduce travel costs. While ticket prices will need to cover operations, they are expected to be competitive with the cost of driving, including fuel, tolls, and wear and tear. Improve safety. South Africa has one of the highest road accident rates in the world. By shifting passengers from road to rail, the project could reduce accidents and save lives. Boost tourism. Easier access to Limpopo's attractions, nature reserves, cultural sites, safari lodges could bring more visitors from Gauteng and beyond. Promote regional integration. Faster transport links make it easier for people to commute, do business, and relocate if needed. Challenges ahead. Despite its enormous potential, Mzansi Velocity 2026 faces several challenges. Funding is perhaps the biggest hurdle. The estimated cost of the first phase runs into tens of billions of rand, and while provincial and national governments have committed funds, a significant share is expected to come from private investors and international development partners. Negotiations over public-private partnerships (PPPs), land acquisition, and environmental impact assessments are ongoing. Land acquisition, in particular, is sensitive. Communities and landowners along the proposed route must be consulted, compensated fairly, and in some cases resettled. Environmental assessments must also ensure that the railway does not harm wildlife habitats or water resources. These processes take time, and delays could push back the project schedule. Nevertheless, project leaders remain confident that the first shovels will break ground by late 2026, with an operational target date around 2030. The name, Mzansi Velocity 2026, itself is a statement of confidence that South Africa is ready to invest in its future. If Part 1 was about the vision and promise of Mzansi Velocity 2026, Part 2 explored the technical heart of the project, the engineering, design, ticketing model, and long-term role of this transformative railway in South Africa's future. High-speed rail technology and rolling stock. Mzansi Velocity 2026 is envisioned as a modern, electrified high-speed railway built to international standards. The trains will likely be electric multiple units, sleek, lightweight, and aerodynamically designed to minimize drag and maximize efficiency. International bidders from Europe and Asia have expressed interest in supplying rolling stock, with the possibility of local assembly or manufacturing to boost South African industry. Expected technical specifications include operating speed, average 180 to 200 km per hour, with peak speeds up to 250 km per hour on dedicated track sections. Propulsion, fully electric, drawing power from overhead catenary lines, possibly supplemented by renewable energy from solar or wind farms. Capacity, trains will have multiple classes, a premium, business, class for corporate travelers, and a standard class to keep fares affordable for the general public. Safety features, state-of-the-art signaling systems such as ETCS, European Train Control System, or similar, automatic train protection, and continuous monitoring of track conditions. By using proven technology adapted for South African conditions, the railway will provide reliable service even under extreme weather. The design will consider the country's unique topography, from flat savannas to gentle hills, allowing trains to maintain high speed without excessive tunneling or viaduct construction, which would raise costs. Station architecture and passenger experience. The station experience is a crucial part of Mzansi Velocity 2026. Planners have emphasized world-class design for terminals, making them functional transport hubs and symbols of regional pride. Pretoria Terminus, expected to be the flagship station, integrated with Gautrain services and city bus networks. The station will feature modern ticket halls, waiting lounges, retail areas, and seamless connections to taxis and ride-share services. Intermediate stops, smaller but well-designed stations at Hammanskraal, Bella Bella, and Mokopane, offering park and ride facilities, secure parking, and accessible platforms. Polokwane Station, planned as a major hub with shopping, dining, and conference facilities, potentially sparking an urban renewal project in surrounding areas. Accessibility is a key principle. All stations will include lifts, ramps, tactile paving for the visually impaired, and clear signage in multiple languages: English, Sepedi, Izulu, Afrikaans, etc. This will make the railway usable by all South Africans, regardless of ability. Ticket pricing and revenue model. One of the main questions the public asks is, will I be able to afford a ticket? The answer, according to project leaders, is yes. Mzansi Velocity 2026 aims to strike a balance between affordability and financial sustainability. Planned features of the ticketing model. Dynamic pricing, cheaper tickets for off-peak travel, encouraging higher usage during non-rush hours. Digital booking, a mobile app and website for ticket purchase, seat selection, and schedule updates, similar to airline booking systems. Discounts and loyalty programs, special rates for students, seniors, frequent travelers, and corporate clients. Integrated payment, the ability to use a single travel card for GO-train, city buses, and the high-speed train. By keeping fares competitive with the cost of driving, including fuel, tolls, and time, the project hopes to attract a wide passenger base. Freight services might also be added in future, giving the line additional revenue potential. Environmental sustainability and green energy. One of the most compelling reasons to build Mzansi Velocity 2026 is its potential to reduce carbon emissions. Cars and buses burning petrol and diesel contribute heavily to greenhouse gases. Electric high-speed trains, powered by a largely decarbonized grid, will be much cleaner per passenger kilometer. Environmental sustainability initiatives include solar integration. South Africa has abundant sunlight, and solar farms near the route could feed electricity into the traction network. Noise reduction. Modern track design, noise barriers near residential areas, and quiet rolling stock will limit sound. Pollution. Wildlife protection. Specially designed wildlife crossings and fencing to prevent collisions with animals. Circular economy. Recycling construction waste and using locally sourced materials where possible. This focus on sustainability will help South Africa meet its climate commitments and enhance the project's reputation as a forward-looking national investment. Long-term economic and social impact. Beyond faster travel, Mzansi Velocity 2026 is expected to reshape the geography of work, study, and leisure. Transit-oriented development (TOD) projects are already being planned near stations, which will include residential apartments, office spaces, hotels, and entertainment complexes. This could lead to entirely new economic districts forming along the route. Social impacts include regional equity, giving Limpopo province a faster, more reliable link to Gauteng, the country's economic engine. Job mobility. Workers will be able to live in smaller towns and commute to Pretoria or Polokwane for better opportunities. Urban decongestion. By drawing travelers off the N1 highway, road traffic and pollution in Gauteng may decrease. Education and healthcare access. Students and patients from rural areas will reach major universities and hospitals more quickly. Risks and challenges. Despite the excitement, risks remain. The largest is cost escalation. High-speed rail is capital-intensive, and global experience shows that megaprojects often run over budget. Strong project management, transparent procurement, and anti-corruption measures will be crucial. Other challenges include delays in land acquisition. Legal disputes could slow construction. Public acceptance. Communities must see benefits, or opposition may grow. Operational efficiency. Poor management could make the service too expensive or unreliable. Maintenance funding. Tracks, trains, and stations require constant upkeep to remain world-class. Addressing these risks early will ensure that Mzansi Velocity 2026 remains not just a dream, but a functional, successful railway. Future expansion and continental connectivity. Mzansi Velocity 2026 is not meant to end with Pretoria Polokwane. If Phase 1 proves successful, the project could serve as a template for additional corridors. Johannesburg, Durban, linking Gauteng with the port city, reducing road freight pressure on the N3 highway. Johannesburg, Mbombela, improving access to Kruger National Park and boosting tourism. Cross-border links, extending northward to Zimbabwe and eventually Zambia, supporting regional trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area (AFCFTA). Such expansion could turn South Africa into a hub of African high-speed rail, integrating economies and opening new markets. Conclusion. A train for the future. Mzansi Velocity 2026 is more than just steel rails and electric trains, it is a national statement of intent. It says that South Africa is ready to compete globally, invest in green infrastructure, and improve the daily lives of its citizens. While challenges are significant, the potential rewards, economic growth, safer travel, regional integration, and environmental protection, were even greater. By 2030, if all goes as planned, a traveler could step aboard a gleaming, fast, quiet train in Pretoria, sip a cup of coffee, and arrive in Polokwane just 90 minutes later, refreshed, safe, and proud of a country that has embraced the future. Mzansi Velocity 2026 may well be remembered as one of the most transformative projects in South Africa's 21st century history.